Hey there, friend. Welcome back. Pull up a chair, grab your coffee or your wine. I don't judge the time zone you're in right now. And settle in because today we're going deep. I am Chrissy, your wise but not stuffy guide, and oh, do I have something for you today.
Breaking news hitting like a rock star this morning.
That's an interesting case.
Something unexpected.
However,
I don't know what I'd do if I were there. That's wiki. You can't imagine what happened yesterday.
I see bullshit and call it for what it is.
That's an interesting case. You can't imagine what happened yesterday. You definitely need to listen to me. We are on air now. Welcome to the show.
So here's what happened. I was sitting in my car last Tuesday. You know that thing where you get home, you pull into the driveway, but you just sit there for a minute, maybe two, maybe 12. Yeah, I was doing that. And I was scrolling through my phone, which I know, we're not supposed to do, but I was. And I came across this quote and it stopped me cold. It said, the right person won't just love you. They'll heal something in you that you didn't even know was broken. And I just sat with it. I sat with it in my car with the grocery bags in the back seat. And I thought, yes. Yes, that's exactly it. That's the thing I've been trying to put into words for honestly, maybe my entire adult life. Because here's the thing, friends. We talk about love. We talk about relationships. We talk about romance and compatibility and communication styles and love languages and all of that matters. All of that is real and important. But here's the other layer, the quieter, deeper, most invisible layer that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. And that is the person who heals your soul. Not fixes, not rescues you, not completes you like some Jerry Maguire movie moment. Although, sidebar, I did love that movie in 1996, and I will not apologize for it. But we're not talking about completion. We're talking about something else entirely. We're talking about the person whose presence in your life makes you feel like you can finally exhale. So today, that's what we're diving into. How to find that person, how to recognize them when they show up. And because this is the tricky part, and I promise you, we get into the tricky part. How to tell the difference between someone who genuinely heals your soul and someone who just temporarily numbs the ache. Because, oh, honey, those are two very different things. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Because I think before we can find the person who heals our soul, we need to understand what that even means. And I think a lot of us have a fuzzy picture of it. We feel it. We know it when we sense it. But put it into words, that's harder. So let me try. A soul healing person is not someone who takes away your problems. They're not your therapist, although go to therapy. That's a different episode and a very important one. They're not your financial advisor. They're not your personal trainer. They're not the person who swoops in and reorganizes your entire life like some kind of magical fairy godmother with a label maker. A soul healing person is someone who makes you feel safe enough to be the most honest version of yourself. I'm going to say that again because I needed to land. They make you feel safe enough to be the most honest version of yourself. And for a lot of us, especially women in our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, that is a radical, almost revolutionary thing. Because so many of us have spent decades performing competence, performing calm, performing I'm fine, everything's fine, the house is fine, the kids are fine, my marriage is fine, I am fine, everything is fine. And then someone walks into your life, and it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, by the way. We'll get into that. It can be a friend, a mentor, a sister-in-law you never expected to click with, a woman you met in a book club who somehow became the person you text at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. But someone walks into your life and something in your chest just unclenches. You don't have to perform for them. You don't have to edit yourself. You don't have to preface every vulnerable moment with, I know this sounds crazy, or sorry, I don't mean to dump on you, but you just talk and they just listen. And somewhere in that exchange, something inside of you starts to mend. That's soul healing. That's not dramatic. It's not cinematic. There's no swelling orchestra. It's quiet. It's Tuesday afternoon in your kitchen. Quiet. It's a phone call while you're folding laundry. It's someone saying, tell me more about that, instead of, well, at least. Da, 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 da. You know? Oh God, the at least people. Can we have a moment of silence for every time someone has said, well, at least to us, when we were trying to express genuine pain? My marriage is struggling. Well, at least you have a husband. I'm exhausted. I can barely function. Well, at least your kids are healthy. I feel like I've lost myself. Well, at least you have a nice house. The at least people are not your soul healers. Friends, I need you to hear that. The at least people are redirectors. They take your pain and they bounce it away from themselves because they don't know what to do with it. And that's their journey. And I have compassion for it, but they are not the ones who are going to heal you. The person who heals you is the one who says, yeah, that sounds really hard. I'm here. Period. Full stop. No direct. No silver lining. No fixing. Just presence. Just, I'm here. Okay. So now let's talk about where these people come from. Because I think there is this expectation, and honestly, movies and TV and Instagram have not helped with this, that the person who heals your soul is going to show up in some dramatic, destined, written in the stars kind of way. Like, you'll lock eyes across a crowded room, or you'll reach for the same book at the bookstore, or you'll have some deep philosophical conversation with a stranger on an airplane and exchange numbers and become lifelong soulmates, soul friends, however it be. And look, maybe that happens for some people. Good for them, truly. But for most of us, the person who heals our soul shows up in the most ordinary, unremarkable, utterly uncinematic ways possible. They show up at a PTA meeting you almost didn't go to. They show up in the cubicle